Okay, with Charlie Dell, the producer of the Pomegranate Theory, experimental film festival, 10 minutes. You're from Cambridge, Ontario, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
So people don't know that's like due west of Toronto, like I guess a
Yeah.
couple hour drive.
Yeah, it's about an hour away, give or take, on a good
Yeah,
day.
Waterloo area.
Yeah, yeah.
But this was done at Humber College.
Yeah, we went to Humber College in Toronto and we shot the film in Hamilton actually at Gaby's grandparents' house. This beautiful house out there. So yeah, it's all kind of in the same area.
So how does it work? So Eliza was the director, and then you were the producer. Like, how does it work for you have to pitch it to the Humber people for to get it made?
Yeah, it was actually pretty fascinating. So everyone in the program had to pitch a couple ideas for a short film. And
Mhm.
then we also had some freedom, if we wanted to do like an art installation kind of a thing where we get people to like walk in a room and we kind of decorated things. We could be pretty creative with it, but we had to pitch a short film. And they sort of had like a couple different rounds of cuts, basically. Like, so
Yeah.
everyone had to initially pitch as a writer director, and then it kind of like they would cut some ideas. So like only it was the kind of like there was a whole board of the professors who would choose on which ideas actually went forward to get made,
Yeah.
and Eliza, the Pomegranate Theory, hers got ended up getting selected at the end, and it was the only experimental film, and so that was pretty fascinating, and uh, so like they were kind of the only positions that were set in stone, sort of like they knew that they were going to write and direct. And I produced some other films throughout our time at Humber. And yeah, basically, I was really kind of fascinated by the idea for a film, and I liked how it was experimental and had no
Mhm.
dialogue. And yeah, I just was really excited for that project. And she actually asked me to produce her film for her, and I felt pretty honored for that. I felt like I was really starting to come into my own as a producer, and having her recognize that, yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
So I was at Humber because I live in Toronto. So I was at Humber a couple years ago, and the professor invited me to like see what the last year projects were.
Hmm.
And I've always like I say this on record is that I never understood it's like these people want to make these like grand short films with these narratives. And your film, this is the type of film that you should be making because it's like it has its own distinct kind of thematic, and there's an
Hmm.
underlying kind of thing happening. You could play with reality. You can kind of have fun with the aesthetics and the cinematography and stuff. This is the short films a student should be making, in my
Yeah,
subjective opinion. There's
that's
always
awesome. Thank
time
you.
later on to do the narratives. Like, you know what I mean? Not that there's not a narrative here, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's like there's lots to play with. It's in the fantasy kind of experimental kind of realm. And if you can engage the audience with a film like this, then you can engage an audience with a narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. She made a couple other films throughout Humber where it had
Yeah.
similar kind of experimental elements, like
Yeah.
kind of unconventional storytelling, and I always found that pretty fascinating how she did that. Like that's kind of sort of a niche that she likes. She really likes the art department and visuals and things like that. And yeah, it's kind of an extra challenge that she puts on herself for these things, and I just found that really cool. Yeah, so
So what is your aspiration? Are you graduated?
yeah, we graduated just last year.
So what is your aspiration in the film industry?
Well, honestly, I've always really liked writing and directing, and
Yeah.
during my time at Humber, and I went to Conestoga as well, and I kind of learned to sort of rein in my ideas and be a bit more realistic, kind of like you're talking about, like um, it's good to have grandiose sort of ideas for
Sure.
projects
Yeah.
and stories like that, and to write them down so in the future when you can maybe
Yeah.
work with them and do them in the future. But when I went to Humber, I wanted to kind of be a bit more business savvy as well. That's kind of something that artistic, creative people kind of struggle with. Like they have all these ideas, but they don't really know what to do with them. And so, yeah, in the last couple of years at Humber, I really got into the producing side of things and just kind of breaking down complex productions, step by step. Because you see a film, and it can be kind of overwhelming. You're like, oh, all these elements coming at you at once, right? But
Yeah.
I really kind of enjoy just the process of it and breaking it down and helping people realize their vision. So I really been leaning into the more of the producing side of things lately. Um, yeah, that's it.
So
That's about it.
Gabriella just joined us. We're just in the middle of the podcast. Hey, Gabriella, do you want to turn on your camera and unmute yourself? How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you can hear us. So you're the cinematographer. I was just talking to Charlie about like these are the films that students. I was down at Humber a couple years ago seeing all the final projects, and
Yeah.
these are the project. These are the films that that you guys should be making. These kind of experimental, kind of
Oh.
playing with the camera. So you did a great job with the visuals.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It was a really amazing project to work on.
So is that your aspiration to be a cinematographer?
Yeah, yeah. Kind of starting in like the camera, grip and electric world, and then working on small projects, building my portfolio until
Yeah.
I can, do it.
That's the way to go, right? You kind of learn
Yeah.
from the bigger films in the like camera or like I said, like or grip or electric department, and then you can always kind of grab hold of these projects and kind of like learn to be a cinematographer like on these kind of like indie projects. So it's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what your goal is.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the okay, so then Charlie was telling us about like how the school picked this project. So what was the next step? He was saying that this was your area, like this is where your location, like you found the location yourself for the project?
Yeah. The location was my grandparents' house. They have since sold it, so I kind of got to film in the space like right before they sold it, which was really beautiful because now I have like a film, like a like just a nice video in the space, I guess, like a film
Yeah.
in the space. So I grew up there. I really like I know the house and the land because we filmed in like a forest. They owned all the like greenbelt forest.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it was great to be able to use the space that I've like grown up in uh and film in it. It was beautiful.
That's amazing. I'm assuming Eliza like was very happy.
Oh yeah, I remember we
Yeah.
scouted another location, which was another really good location, but she really wanted a farmhouse kind of country feel. And then
Yeah.
I said, Eliza, I think I have the place for you. I think you'll like this place. And she goes, okay, yeah, we'll go see it. And then as soon as we walked in, I remember she looked at me and she's like, oh, it's the place. And we were
So
just so
Really was the
excited.
perfect house.
that's amazing. So who's Charlie or Gabrielle? One of you explain to me what the pomegranate theory means, like thematically in the film.
Charlie, you go first.
Okay. So
You started with it.
yeah, well, the pomegranate theory, as Liza was kind of telling me when we were first starting this film, it's sort of like I guess a theory, like a kind of existing psychological thing where like you being willing to do something tedious for somebody kind of thing, like de-seeding a pomegranate, right? Taking all the pomegranate out of the fruit itself for somebody. Like it seems like you're just willing to take great care into somebody and kind of she wanted to kind of elaborate on that and seeing that like being so selfless can kind of be self-destructive to yourself, like in the film she de-seeds all the pomegranates for Holter, her boyfriend, and then she doesn't really have anything left over for herself, and she spends so much time and energy making sure that he's satisfied and with everything that she doesn't really have much time for herself. And I think with them having the animal mass on too, like they couldn't really
Mhm.
communicate. And I think just sort of meeting in the middle and not giving anyone, not being too selfish or too selfless, and yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
that.
You want anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, he said it perfect. I mean, the metaphor of taking the pomegranate seeds out of a pomegranate kind of represents the whole film.
Yeah.
The effort that you put into someone and not getting anything back, I feel
Hmm.
like is something that a lot of people go through in relationships.
Yeah.
And I know Eliza wanted to highlight sometimes how it feels for a woman in a relationship,
Yeah.
being and giving so much of yourself and not feeling like you're getting a lot back.
So she's
Um,
channeling you're channeling the film, channeling an abusive relationship, I guess. A
yeah.
narcissistic relationship.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, especially with kind of younger people too. Maybe they don't have the most life experience. They kind
Mhm.
of just think that this is the way that things are, and they kind of go with the flow. And it's kind of also about like taking a step back and like wanting
Yeah.
more for yourself, kind of,
Well, a lot of us get
build up.
conditioned, right? Like we could have a parent like that, or you know what I mean? So, and
Hmm.
we get conditioned to have that relationship, and then we kind of repeat the same patterns. That's
Yeah.
sort of what happens in life, right? So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
And
if
this,
you can break the
oh,
pattern, then you're an extraordinary person.
mhm.
So, because that's what we kind of do. We end up kind of repeating patterns of relationships. But she's very insightful. This is a very insightful film that it's like that. It's like getting out of that pattern. So then to get people understanding, it's like this is like kind of like a society where people wear animal masks to represent their inner selves.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
tell me about like the where how did you create the animal masks the people were wearing? I'm curious about that.
Um, well, I know Eliza would have some good insights on this, but I think
Yeah.
like how do we actually create the masks like themselves?
Yeah, like who created it? I'm just curious who created the mask.
That was our wardrobe designer, Maddie Hurdle, right? She would design that
And I
with
think Nikki also made
Nikki.
the masks,
Yeah, Nikki,
production designer.
Stefan, our art director. The two of them together, like sort of the wardrobe and the art department, they were kind of like the really biggest elements of the film, just because we had no dialogue and we had to rely so hard on the visual elements. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, they spent a lot of time with the actors, sort of making sure that everything fit perfectly. And yeah, there was a couple of different iterations of the mask that we had to go through and
Yeah.
through trial and error, and
Yeah.
yeah, Nikki was great at that sort of thing. He's really got good mind for that.
Yeah, he was awesome. I remember him calling me throughout the process of it, and he would just be wearing the mask, and I'd like to accept the call, and he'd be like scaring me with the mask. But we
Yeah.
would just sit and talk while he was making it, like, and Maddie, like putting all the individual like feathers together. I wish like they would talk a lot more in detail about the process, but I know like every like piece by piece they made everything. Nikki got these like those like doll or not doll, the heads that you can get at Michael's. They're like a styrofoam head.
Like a mannequin
But
head
yeah,
almost.
it's like a mannequin head, thank you.
Yeah.
He was using those to shape them and to make sure everything looked
Hmm.
proper and yeah, everything is like handpicked and crafted.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really cool. Like,
Homemade.
so it seems like a lot of like very creative people were a part of this project, kind of collaboration. It's great.
Yeah, we had a very good team, very strong people in the roles.
Yeah.
Okay, so then talk to me about the contrast of the like we'll talk about the exterior visuals in a second, but the interior, there's a lot of contrast. Like it's like you see it's outside, it's a daylight, but everything's dark and kind of wooden and brown in the
Mhm.
house. But then the contrast is that she's like the pomegranate obviously is red. She's got a red apron. She's got a white she's wearing white the what is that, a fox? He's wearing white, so like it's a really cool contrast in terms of working with a production designer, and a lot of kind of camera movements happening, kind of moving here, moving there. This is not an easy day of shooting, I'm assuming, from a lighting perspective.
No, it wasn't. And it
Yeah.
was um I really wanted to light outside and for that to be the main light source. I
Yeah.
also think my style is more natural. I don't really like to overlight or be too stylistic. I want it to still emulate real life or at least the world that we're creating, which was like this was all supposed to be in one day.
Yeah.
And we shot in November, so we didn't have all like a lot of light. But we shot this for over the course of 3 days. But there were days where there was one day in particular in the bedroom scene where the sun went down completely. So I had to readjust all of the lighting very quickly and um, fix that problem. But I really wanted to, for the day scenes, I wanted to expose so that I could see the beautiful background of like all the trees in the back and everything. So it was challenging um, getting enough light and being able to put the aperture so low so that I could see uh, through the windows.
Yeah, it's great. And like like nice touches even with the costume design. Like she's wearing like the black shoes and the white. Yeah, everything kind of
Mhm.
contrasts. And
Yeah.
it's almost like she's trapped in the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say something like that. That's kind of a good interpretation of it, you know. And I was gonna say earlier, kind of like the red women sort of helped her kind of break the pattern, you know, and see things the bigger picture, right? And I think the sort of vibrant outside world kind of is good. Yeah, it's nice that you noticed all the contrast there. Like I think that's cool.
And then you shot the outside like the outside is kind of like it was a different day, I'm assuming, right? You kind of shot the one day all outside.
Yeah, yeah, we shot the Red Woman and the yeah, that was I think that was one day. There might have been like small things that were
Yeah.
like
No,
a
I
different day,
understand.
but
Yeah.
the yeah, majority of it was, I believe, in
Yeah.
one day.
Is it just by happenstance that you're wearing red today?
I was actually wearing I was wearing green this morning, and
Okay.
I'm here with my mom, and I said, "Oh, I feel I should wear red because it's for the pomegranate theory." And she goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah, why aren't you wearing red?"
Yeah. I did it for you too. Okay.
Yeah, I thought about it too as I was getting dressed, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't want to be too on the nose,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So then these red women are not, they're just like, they're not wearing a mask. They're just kind of wearing a cloth over them, right?
yeah. There's so many ways that I feel like it can be interpreted. I believe kind of how we were going with it was that these are kind of like his past victims in a way.
Yeah.
So these are all the women that now live in this space and are here for her. But you can see how they're all doing their duties. They kind of have a society and a system within themselves.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and it's even though they could be interpreted kind of creepy, I feel like they're very uplifting towards each other. I always like whenever I was watching the film, I always thought it was like cute in a way because they were all it just felt like they all had each other's backs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed with all the costume designs. Even like the next scene where like she's in kind of like like I guess bridal lingerie. Is that the best way to put it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And then
she just wants to impress him, like she's trying to do anything she can to, get his attention, even though she shouldn't have to.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
then they take off their masks and
Yeah, they like reveal themselves to each other.
yeah. And obviously he's like the antagonist. We don't like him, right? So
Mhm.
yeah.
We don't like Holter.
Yeah, no.
What's that?
His name's Holter, um, the character. I know it's never revealed in the like it's never said, but
Yeah.
just to let you know, forever saying Holter, that's the fox's name.
Yeah. It's gluttony. He's like a gluttonous person where like he just wants everything to himself, right? And he's like
Yeah.
taking everything in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. He's not, and he doesn't really give back at all, you know, and she kind of gives
Yeah.
her everything, right? And their lack of communication just, definitely doesn't help those things, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, no, the really nice touches in this film. It's like really good. It's like I like seeing these type of like I said, I like seeing these type of films. I hope it does well for you guys. It looks like you guys are getting into festivals and getting some notice with it, right? So
Hmm. Yeah, we've had a pretty good run so far. Eliza and I sort of, when we were first starting, we were like, realistically, like it's an experimental film, it's going to be very different than
yeah,
what kind of people might be used to or have seen before. And we were kind of, we always had, a lot of confidence in the idea and the film. And we're just happy that it's kind of, people are interpreting it and enjoying it. And yeah, it seems to be doing really well. We had a lot of good luck so far with the festival. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the forest area. It's like a really that's outside of your grandparents' place. They live in that kind of area.
Yeah, I was there in their backyard.
Oh. Why they
So
sell the place? It's so great.
uh, they're getting older.
Yeah, I know, I
It's a
understand.
lot
And
to
it's
because my grandfather was always in the forest, like taking care of all the trees and everything. Like,
oh, really? Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
And the market is good, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
it's a
that's
beautiful
great. Where do
place.
they
I know, I
live?
thought the same thing, but
Yeah. Where do they live now?
They live closer to my aunt.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have more family closer to help them and take care of
So
them.
did you do the color correction like after it was the film, the picture was
Yeah, I
locked?
graded the film, yeah.
Yeah. You like doing that?
Yeah, I love color grading. I feel like if you're I've never had the experience where I haven't color graded something I've shot. I would do it. I would love to do it to learn from other colorists.
Mhm.
As hard as maybe that kind of control would be hard to give over to someone.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I feel like Eliza and I really had everything down for what we wanted visually. And she put a lot of trust into me with certain things where she kind of gave me an overall idea.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, okay, I should like go do it. And then it was great and everything was it felt very I feel like right now when I look back at it, it felt like an easy process just because it's so like Eliza's amazing to work with. Obviously, being on set is stressful,
Hmm.
but when I look back at the experience, it's such a positive one where like, sorry, I was saying everything was like very meticulous that we were when we were shooting. Like we kind of knew all the little details that we wanted and the at least a general idea of important things that we wanted to make sure were happening on set.
So everybody was on the crew was all from the school.
Yeah.
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 Most well, like the core crew, kind of like all the more major roles. We were all in the same class,
Yeah.
and then
So
we had
sometimes like
some.
from film school history, it's like that's sometimes it's like you can't get everybody like not everybody's great. Let's just put it that way. Right? So,
Yeah.
but
There's
yeah.
always those challenges, but I feel like everyone's learning, and if you keep a positive spirit and you remember that, you know, we're not here to be professional, like we're here to be professionals, but you know, we're still learning.
Hmm.
And if we all
Yeah.
treat each other with respect, then
Yeah.
we can work through
Well,
whoever people's not insecurities isn't the right word. They're not their strong suits, I guess.
Yeah, it's so true. It's a good way to
gotcha.
put it.
All right, so then you did all the color grading. So then like then what did you think, Charlie, when the film was kind of locked down and were you impressed? Were you happy? Were you excited?
Yeah, I loved it. When Eliza and I first saw it, like in that editing suite, Gabby, like we were like I just couldn't believe it. Like we were talking about this for so long and we had it built up in our heads so much and that's kind of you can sometimes set the bar too high for yourself and it's kind of an issue that sort of creative people face. They have all these great ideas and
Yeah.
then the burden of reality. But then when we actually saw it all put together and edited and we just were blown away. We loved it. And all the elements really came together so well. And, I couldn't imagine it any other way.
So you guys are graduated, and so how does it feel to be graduated and going out in the real world, as they say?
Ooh. Um, I'm really enjoying it. Um, as soon as I graduated, I was very lucky. I had a connection where someone got me on a feature film as a second AC. And since then, I've been doing various camera roles, and like some grip and electric. I want to do more of that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I really
Like this is in the union or like our
no,
non-union?
it's not union, but it was like a
Yeah.
pretty high budget film. It was
Yeah.
like it was a great learning experience and yeah, I've been shooting some stuff, small stuff since
Are you
then.
interested in getting into IATSE or NABED? Like
Yeah, I've thought about it and that's something that I feel like within the next year I'll start applying. I have
yeah.
like the contacts that I need or the references, but I'm quite busy with freelance and other projects.
Yeah.
So
No, I get it. I
it's been
understand because
good.
sometimes when you get into the union and you end up working on a show, for example, it locks you in. Like
Yeah.
you're kind of done for a while. Like meaning
Hmm.
that this is your job for a while and you're working long hours and it's hard to like get your focus
Yeah.
back up to doing your own stuff, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. but then you get paid well and you get contacts.
Yeah, there's the whole
Like it's
there's
a balance, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
there. I've been exactly where you guys are. I totally understand. And
Oh,
what about
really?
yourself, Charlie? What's your next step?
Yeah, I kind of I was a bit nervous at first to be out of school, but honestly,
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it too, kind of being on my own. I'm getting a lot more sleep, which is good,
Yeah.
more I learned so much from Humber. I kind of have better habits now. I'm glad that I went through all that, and I'm lucky enough I had a good internship. We had to do like a sort of a work placement in our final year, and it was actually during the summer, so we didn't really get a summer, but I was
Yeah.
lucky where I had a really nice internship with the people I worked with, and I actually got a job with them in my final semester. So it was graduating with the job was really nice.
Hmm.
I didn't want to go out there and start looking, that would have been scary, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm yeah, pretty happy with where I am.
Cool. And you think you guys are going to work together again, like with Eliza or anything? Or I'm just curious.
I'd be happy to, if she was working on something and she wanted me
Yeah.
to do anything for her, I'd be really happy to. She had such a strong vision, since like we were pitching the films, before it was
Yeah.
even like a thing, and she was just so sure of her ideas that it made it easy for everyone else to kind of focus on their roles, and I think
Cool.
that's why we work so well together on set. And yeah, we had really good communication sort of thing, and yeah, I'd love to.
Well, I think it's a great film, and for especially for a student film, it's very inventive. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of interpretation, but it's so visual, interesting, and it's well performed as well. So congratulations on the success of the film, and either let's talk again, either individually or in person,
Yeah, that'd be great.
individually or together, and
Yeah.
next project. I really appreciate you guys. Hopefully, let's keep in touch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome. Thank you so much for giving us the platform.